Nice to see a lot of familiar faces and good old friends. Good to see you all once again. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Over the next 20 minutes, I will try to give you a glimpse of how business intelligence and analytics put together would empower modern CFO to drive business growth, improve profitability, and derive greater business value for your organizations. Now, irrespective of whichever organization you belong to, you're sitting on massive amount of data, not just internal, but also external, not just structured, but also unstructured with the advent of social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, etc. You would be awash with financial data coming from your ERPs, your ledgers, subledgers, spreadsheets, and at the same time, operational data related to your suppliers, your customers, your products, your headcounts, etc. Now, what is important is to treat this data as an asset class, as a currency. But then the problem is, how do you analyze those millions and billions of rows of records within a matter of seconds? How do you get those hidden business insights which is sitting inside the data, which will give you those unknown relationships and help you solve those complex business problems? Right? How would you bring your financial data with your call center data and be able to perform analysis like cost per call, cost per minute? What is it that you need to do to improve your profitability? Should I go on a revenue increase drive or a cost cutting initiative? You may be facing these kind of questions day in, day out. Now, BI in the form of traditional graphics like bar charts and pie charts have existed for many, many years. Can I have a show of hands of how many of you have already embarked the BI journey? Quite a few of them. But all of us also agree that it is at most giving us only half the picture. What we really need is basically how do I get those dials and gauges which are sitting on my dashboards over there move in the direction which is in line with my business objective, from the red zone to the yellow zone to the green zone. So what do we need for that is actionable intelligence in the form of forward-looking insights. What I really need is basically the power of analytics. So let us see what the industry experts are talking about. Okay? And you would have heard this many a times, but CFO's role has evolved beyond financial reporting, and they also engage deeply in performing analysis and taking strategic decisions, leveraging the power of analytics. Let us look at a survey which was conducted for the CFOs of UK, and there are some interesting insights over here. Over 98% of the CFOs believe that data is more important for them than it was only 5 years back. Over 20% of those CFOs have put a financial value to their data. It actually appears as a line item into their balance sheet. Let's look at another survey which was conducted by CFO Research in collaboration with American Express. And if you look at it, more than 35% of the CFOs have mentioned that they would like to increase their investments in BI analytics. And I'm glad to tell you, more than 48% of those CFOs are actually CFOs from India. There's quite a likelihood that a lot of them would actually be sitting in this room who would have responded in that favor. So if the power of BI and analytics is so immense, it should be in the hands of CFOs, their offices, and the business users who have to take decisions at the nick of the hour. But in spite of that, if you look at it, still there are a lot of organizations where analytics is still being churned out of certain corner offices. And the reason for that could be a notion which they carry that maybe analytics is complex, it requires specialized skill sets, expensive resources, and so on and so forth. And I'm here to change that notion for good. Let me take an instance of our customer, who is one of the largest private banks in India. What they've done is they've extended the power of self-service analytics into the hands of business users. So now what they can do is they can themselves deep dive into the data and perform customer intelligence, risk management, analyze exception-based data on their ATM transactions, and many, many application areas like that. So enough of talking, and let me show you some things in action. Okay, what we will do is we will run a profitability analysis scenario over here. Okay, and the reason why I picked up this case is because all of us will be able to relate to that better, and at the same time you will be amazed with the simplicity, the ease, and the power with which you can do this kind of analysis, right? So let's look at your profitability data points over here, okay? And let me take the timeline and simply drag and drop on this interface over here. What this quickly does, it quickly gives you a trend analysis. I did not have to tell it what it needs to do. It's smart enough to understand on your behalf what could be the best fitting visualization. Okay, and at the same time, if I have to look at what is the kind of data volumes I am currently addressing, I'm looking at more than 3.1 million records, which are across 41 attributes. Quite a sizable data and quite fast to give you this kind of analysis. Now, what I'm seeing is there seems to be a falling profitability trend towards the later part of the years. So what I would want to do is simply focus on those set of data points. Okay, and let me exclude the rest. Okay, and now what I want to do is basically see what are the various product lines in which I'm doing business have a role to play over here. So I simply will be dragging and dropping over there, but before that, let me also try to probably project that over a bar chart. Okay, the moment I click, it basically converts into a bar chart, and now I have to drag and drop my product lines over here. Okay. So the moment I do that, I can quickly see that looks like the problem seems to be the product line 2 and product line 6. Let me put in my additional business KPIs. For example, my revenue and my quantity, and drag and drop on this interface again. What I next want to do is see that whether, this kind of a behavior in these product lines, is it across the country, or there are certain set of regions or geographies where I see this kind of a behavior. So what I can quickly do is now build a hierarchy, and on that hierarchy, let me start with my product lines and then go into the regions, okay? And let me call this as a CFO hierarchy. Now what I have to do is simply pick up this CFO hierarchy and drag and drop on this graph. And now what I can do is simply drill down into product line 2 and actually see the problem seems to be majorly coming from south and west, right? So gone are the days where you had to be dependent on an OLAP kind of a structure where your hierarchies would be tight, and every time you have to change a hierarchy, you have to go back to your IT, drop the cube, recreate the hierarchy, make the report point back to it, which would easily be a 1 day to 2 day exercise. Here you can do that on the fly, all by yourself. Now let's look at some other KPIs and see how they are actually linked to my profitability. Okay, so let's pick up all the business KPIs which I'm right now basically tracking and drag and drop on this interface here. What this smartly does, it builds up a correlation matrix for you. And what this correlation matrix will show is what is the relationship which each of your business KPIs have with profitability, because that is the case in point right now for me. Okay, I see some interesting relationships, but what excites me most is that there seems to be a strong relationship between my profitability and customer rating. Now what I want to actually do is see what is the impact which probably customer rating has on my profitability. So let me do quickly a projection on my profitability, okay, and simply And to be able to do that kind of a projection, I have to just click a button, show forecast, and what this does, it will quickly give you a forecast over here. Okay? And now what I want to basically do is pick up my customer satisfaction rating and drag and drop on this interface over here and use it as an underlying factor. Okay? The moment I do that, what this smartly gives me now is an interface where I can actually play around with that. So what I can now do is perform a scenario analysis. It's not simple what if analysis wherein you do that on your past data where there's a defined equation. This is running it on top of your projections. Okay? So let's say if I can target to improve my customer satisfaction by say, X percentage over here, okay, then I want to see what is the kind of impact which it has on my profitability. The moment I click apply, and there you go. It shows this is the boost which you get in terms of your profitability. Right? Now, this may not be my business objective. My business objective may be to be somewhere over here in terms of my profitability. Okay? And the moment I do that, now I want to actually see back that what is it I need to do on my customer satisfaction rating. The moment I click apply, and there you go. That's the revised one which I need to see. Likewise, you can apply as many underlying factors over here, and to be able to achieve a certain business objective, you can set targets over there and see what is it that you need to do on your underlying factors. You can even run models on top of it. Let's say I look at my product line 2, where I saw there was an issue. And what I really want to see is basically what is the buying behavior of my customers for product line 2. So what I can now do is quickly build a decision tree of model, pick up buying PL2 as one of my response variables, okay, and I can quickly see that looks like out of my entire customer base, there are 10% of them who are probably buying product line 2. Okay, I want to see the traits of those customers. So I can analyze those traits, let's say by the gender, by the geography, whether they have a home, whether they are my loyalty customer, what is their affluence grade, what is their age, and so on and so forth. And I need to simply drag and drop this on the interface over here, and what this will quickly do is build a decision tree model for you. And what I really need to focus on now are those set of leaves where I see the concentration of blue being higher, which is actually telling me are the ones who had bought my product, okay, and see what are the kind of attributes or traits which they have. They have a male gender, they have this kind of affluence grade, their age is beyond X numbers and stuff like that. So you have all these attributes there with you, and now what you can do is actually run a campaign, a targeted campaign to only those set of customers, and doing that you save in a lot of marketing dollars, which eventually translates to improving profitability as well. When was the last time you could build a model so simply and easily like this? It's time to rethink. Now you can run hundreds of such models at your product level, at your SKU level, at your region level, okay, and deploy them effectively on your data. Right? Now all these insights which you're getting out of your explorations and analytics, you can actually translate it back to these pretty and interactive looking dashboards, which can then be disseminated across your organization, who can take decisions on top of it. Right? It can actually be sent, okay, over your email boxes, okay, at 9 o'clock in the morning, maybe not even the time when we would enter in the office, but it will be reaching before you on a lighter note. But at the same time, you can even consume this power of analytics on your tablets, on your mobile devices. Right? So I would categorize this as one of the game changer offerings. And the reason why I call this as a game changer offering is because it is a one-stop shop which basically caters to all your data management requirements, your reporting requirements, BI, self-service analytics, mobility, collaboration, and an enterprise-ready platform which caters to your big data needs. All this in one product. And that's why it becomes a game changer. Now, isn't this what your organizations need today? Solve more problems, solve them faster, solve them more accurately, solve them easily, and maybe solve them with the same set of resources. So what you need to do is to partner with an organization which will actually help you translate your strategy into actions, into results. Welcome to the world of SaaS Visual Analytics. With this, I come to the end of my presentation. I hope I have lived up to my timelines. Thank you so much for being a lovely audience. Appreciate your time and attention. You may be getting feedback forms. I would request you all to actually provide in your feedback to us. We have a booth, back there, right next to the T-bar. Okay, would appreciate, and we would like to invite all of you to come and meet us at the booth and share your vision, your roadmap around BI analytics. And we would be glad to share our experiences working with customers in your space on how we have extended greater business value to their organizations by leveraging the power of business intelligence and analytics. Thank you so much and have a great day.